everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and I'm currently in the middle of 14 series that I am actively tracking. I am definitely in the middle of more series than that, but I've chosen these 14 as like ones I'm actively reading and continuing, and the other ones are like in the background, may get added to the list at some point. So in this video I decided to pick a couple of them to continue. I'm not going to be fully finishing any series in this video just because of the nature of where I'm at in all of the series that I'm reading. I'm not like one book away from finishing them, but we're gonna make some progress. I'm gonna get a lot closer. I've picked just the ones that look the most interesting to me right now. There's not really any rhyme or reason, so I'm gonna walk you through the ones that I have chosen for this video, and then this will just be a reading vlog as I read the books. The first one is a middle grade fantasy series. This is the Theodosia Throckmorton series, which is very difficult to say, but I am on book 3. It is Theodosia and the Eyes of Horus. This is a series about this girl who, she's like 11 or something, around that, and her parents are curators, something like that, for a Egyptian history museum in London. They're like the archaeologists that go and like gather things, but Theodosia can sense magic, and so she has taken it upon herself to remove the curses on all of these artifacts that her parents bring in for the museum before they get put on exhibit. Nobody knows that she's doing this, but she does it nonetheless. And she gets involved with some like secret organizations. Just lots of crazy stuff happen. There's always a bit of a mystery that is going on, and lots of really fun random Egyptian history facts. This is my first one that I'm gonna read on the Kindle. I got it through Libby. I really love these. This is a reread for me, but like I haven't read it since I was a kid. So that's that one. And then the next series that I want to continue is the Temeraire series by Naomi Novik. I am on book 4 in this series. This is Empire of Ivory. I'm not 100% sure how many books there are. Like 9 maybe? Could be wrong. This is a series about the Napoleonic Wars if there were dragons. You're following a naval officer who, they take a boat that has a dragon egg, and all of the crazy life changes that happen after that. It's definitely a slower paced book. It's not gonna be one that you just fly through with lots of crazy plot points and stuff like it is the Napoleonic Wars, but I have a good time with it. I like the characters. There's a lot of funny interactions between different characters. So if you're a very character-based reader, definitely check this out. It works for somebody who's a plot reader. Like there's enough going on, but it's definitely kind of a slow one. So I find myself taking long breaks in between books just because they are kind of slow, but I really enjoy myself when I am reading them. So very excited for this one. And then the final book I've chosen for this video is Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. This is book 2 in the Legendborn cycle, which is a YA fantasy series based off of the Legend of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and all of that. I wasn't obsessed with the first book in this series, but I liked it enough to continue. There's only one more book in the series out. I think it's supposed to be 5, so I'll only have one more and then I will be caught up in this series, which is nice. I can consider it done at that point. Anyways, I'm gonna go do some reading. I will update you when I have some thoughts on one of these books, and we'll see if we can make some good progress on some series, because one of my goals for this year is to finish more series than I start. So I really need to start finishing series because I have several books that are the first book in a series that I really want to get to. So I'm gonna go do some reading and I will catch up with you guys later. Hey guys, this lighting is not the most amazing, but I thought I'd update you really quick on my books. I have finished Theodosia and the Eyes of Horus. This one was just delightful. They all are. They're just super fun, quick reads. I already returned it, or I would be holding the Kindle up, but this one I think is the first one where you end off with a very clear setup of what the next book is going to be. I feel like a lot of them kind of just are very self-contained, but I guess the first two are very self-contained, and then book 3 and 4, like book 3 kind of really sets up book 4. So I definitely need to get to the next one soon and just finish off the series. There are just 4 books, but a delight as always. Theodosia's just fun. I love Will and his whole family and the little group that they've got. Theodosia has a little bit of a rivalry with some of the adults in the book in this one, and that is just so funny to me. But you learn some interesting things about why she can sense magic in this book, which is a very fun, nice touch, and I think we're going to explore that more from what I remember in book 4. There's also some fun stuff about her cat in this book. Really enjoyed. And then I have started Empire of Ivory. I'm not super far in, I'm 30 pages. It picks up like immediately where book 3 ended. Like there's not a gap at all in these 2 books, which I need to be reading these books faster for sure. It's taking me a second to remember who everyone is and what exactly was going on, but I think I'm back into it now. I think I've like caught myself back up, but it took a second. There was a lot of names. There's quite a few dragon names that I'm still not 100% sure that I really remember who they are, but with context clues, I'm putting it together. So that's where I'm at on that one. They finished up the like really intense thing that was happening at the end of book 3, and we're learning about the state of where England's at right now. And from what I can tell in the back, they are going to get sent on another mission to hopefully help with some really not so great things that are happening right now. So I'm excited for that part. We'll see where this goes. I think it's going to be a minute before we get back into being able to see some of the other dragon characters that we really enjoy. I think they're going to be kind of off on their own again. And then maybe at some point we will have a book where everybody's back together and we have the whole crew, but we're really focusing on Temeraire and his crew. There is a new dragon that we meet in book 3. Well, there's lots of new dragons, but there is a specific new dragon that we meet in book 3 that I think is going to become kind of a big character. So I'm excited about her. She seems like she's a fun, wild, she's got a lot of personality. That will be a very fun addition to these characters, but I'm having a good time with it. I'm going to go keep reading. Definitely need to take shorter breaks between books. That's what I'm learning. Being in the middle of lots of series, I think that's my general consensus, is I need to be reading these series faster. Like I have a tendency to take a really long time with series and then kind of forget what's going on in between, and then I feel like I don't get as invested as I would if I read them much closer together. Not necessarily do I need to read them back to back, but definitely quicker than I am. So that's where I'm at in Temeraire. I will update you maybe when I'm done. We'll see. If I have a lot of thoughts, I'll update you in the middle, but probably when I'm done. Finished Empire of Ivory by Naomi Novik. Really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. Definitely struggled to get back into it after taking a pretty long break, so I am not going to let myself take long breaks anymore. My goal, ideally I'll have this book series finished by the end of the year. I have 5 more books after this, so definitely need to like pick up the pace, read one every other month or something like that, and like finish the series this year. That would be really great if I get to pull that off, because once I got back into it and I was into the swing and I was kind of remembering who everyone was, I was enjoying it a lot more. That being said, there is a bit of a slow start to this book before we finally get into the actual like plot line that we are following in this book. Every one of them and the series kind of has its own self-contained plot line within the overarching war. And this one involves Africa, which is really fun. We met a whole bunch of other different types of dragons, learned about a lot more about kind of how dragons are treated outside of England in this world, which was very fascinating to read. And it ends in a very interesting place in this book. I'm not sure what the plan is. It's one of those things where like, you know it's going to work out because it's the main characters, but they're in a pretty sticky situation right now, so I don't know how that's gonna go for them. I definitely need to jump into the next book while I'm in the swing of things, so hopefully soon I would like to read the next one, because this is probably the biggest cliffhanger ending in the series so far. It's not exactly a book series that like is relying on these cliffhangers to get you from book to book, but this one definitely did. So really enjoyed it, 4 stars, need to continue the series. Temeraire is just so fun. There's a new, like, more main character dragon in this book that I really like her. I think she's gonna be very fun. She's got some spunk for sure, but that's what's happening with this one. I have also started Bloodmarked, our final book for this video. I am about 100 pages into the book, 120. It's going okay. This one, I have not taken that long of a break between book 1 and 2. Like, I read book 1 in the fall. I think, like, it hasn't been that long. Definitely, like, it's not like I read them back to back, but I'm also having a very hard time remembering who some of these people are and exactly where we were at. A lot happens at the end of the first book, and apparently not all of it were registered in my brain, because I'm still a little lost on exactly how things went down on that book. So I don't know, it took me a minute. I'm still a little confused about what's going on, and I'm still struggling to, like, I just don't feel like I ever really differentiated some of these people in my brain, and so I just like am lost on who's who for a lot of this, and it hasn't even been that long since I read the last book. But this picks up, honestly, I think it overlaps slightly. Maybe I just read in the first book like the few preview chapters, because I feel like I already read the first little bit of this book. And just overall, I have very mixed feelings about this book, and I had mixed feelings about the first book too. So this is gonna be kind of my like final check-in to see how I feel about this series and if I want to keep going with it. It is just one of those books that is really frustrating me, and stuff is happening that I feel like is supposed to be making me feel so nervous for the characters and like invested because they're in these dire straits and whatever, but I just feel a little bit annoyed and that's not the emotion I was looking for, and I can't fully put my finger on why they're making me feel so annoyed, because there's elements in this that I really have enjoyed in other books, but for some reason it is just not working. I just don't love the main character. Like, she is just not my favorite. She's very hot-headed and very, I don't know, it just feels like she's this like ultra chosen one character, but she's making very little effort. Like, we're missing the whole training sequence part. That, like, everything that happens with her magic and stuff like that is just 100% luck. Like, nothing that she is doing she's in control or intentionally doing ever. And I think that that is really what's getting to me the most, is that I don't like, we're missing the part where she goes and develops her skills and builds up the knowledge so that she's actually able to be like a true player in the field. And so instead she has this like massive title that she 100% does not deserve. And it's not like, I think if I was following the same storyline from somebody else's point of view and I could just like empathize with them and be so frustrated about this person who came in and like did not deserve this thing, then maybe I'd be having more fun with it. But as it is, we're like, from her point of view, so we're supposed to be sympathizing with her and how like crazy and overwhelming this is for her, and I'm just like, well then, like, get your act together and learn some stuff. Like, I don't like, so I don't know. I feel like I just need that training sequence where she actually becomes competent at what she's doing, and then maybe I'd be a little less annoyed with her. But as it stands, I'm mostly just frustrated with this book. Stuff is happening. It's like, it's an alright plot. I don't, like, it's okay what's happening. There's some interesting things, but again, things are just going so wrong and the characters seem so incapable of fixing it that I'm just frustrated with it instead of on the edge of my seat, because I don't have any faith in these characters to be able to sort it out. So I'm going to finish this book. I may be taking a pause in the middle of it, which I know cannot help this book's chances, but we are heading on a trip soon and I don't want to take this big of a book with me on that trip, and so I might be pausing halfway through. We'll just get as far as we can before I leave and then I will finish it when I get back. But that's the other thing, like, why are these books so long? Like, the idea is interesting, but I just don't know that I'm feeling like it's interesting enough for, first of all, 550 page books. Second of all, for it to be a 5-book series. Like, I, based off of the pacing of the first book, genuinely thought this was gonna be a trilogy because I could not imagine what possibly could get dragged on long enough to make it more than that, and I'm still confused on that. I don't understand, like, this book almost has to be another setup book because there just wasn't enough to the plot for me to feel like it warrants that many pages. But I don't know, I can see, like, obviously people love this series and I can sort of see why. It's just really not for me. So I'm gonna finish the book. I will check in with you later, potentially post trip, and I'll let you know my thoughts. I finished Bloodmarked. I did end up taking a break while I went on my trip and then decided to come back to this. So that happened. I'm done with it now. This definitely picked up at the end in an odd way. There was a lot going on for sure. And in general, like, there was a lot of stuff going on in this book, but it just felt very disjointed. And I'm not really sure what the overall plot is. I'm like, where are we going with this? I have no idea what the end goal here is at all. Definitely some interesting things were going on with some of the characters. The ending has gotten me to the point where I do think I will read the next book. As soon as I see it in paperback, I will grab it. Not loving the idea of then being caught up and having to wait for the next book to be written and then come out in paperback. I'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I feel like she started diving deeper into some things. Honestly, I think the part where this book finally started to click for me was, I don't know, halfway, 60% to the way through, when a small subset of the characters really kind of go off on their own adventure. And there's like 4 core characters that end up on their own thing while everybody else is kind of off doing something. And at that point, I feel like it really got better for me. I think that there was maybe just too many characters that she was trying to juggle, and there's definitely new people that get introduced in this book, but I don't know, it was just like more of a trickle of new characters instead of, I feel like book 1 and the first part of this book, there's just so many people and she's trying to keep track of so many different characters that I just didn't really feel connected to any of them. But I think it helped a lot to really narrow it down to that like group of 4 main characters that we were following. And I will say we did lose some of our other characters a bit in this book. My battery's flashing, I'll be back in a second. All right, I don't know how charged this battery is either, but I will say we lost some of the characters a little bit in this for sure. One of our like main characters is kind of off on his own and we don't really see him that much, but I didn't mind it. I feel like the main duo from book 1 was actually really starting to bug me, so I was okay with the divide between those two. What I'm not thrilled about is we're setting up a bit of a love triangle weirdness. I don't know where we're gonna go with this. I don't know what the plan is here. I don't love love triangles. They're not my favorite plot trope. We'll see where it goes. I feel like she has made some interesting choices. There were some crazy things. I still feel like the magic is just a little nebulous, I guess. Like, I just don't feel like I fully understand all of the magic and what it can and can't do. And the characters don't either. Like, our main girl just keeps randomly having new abilities pop up all the time and you just never know what you're gonna get with her magic. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's fine. I think I'm giving this one like 3.75 stars. It definitely was slow at the beginning, but it did pick up at the end, and I probably will continue the series, so it was fine. Not my favorite series in the world, but I love the concept. Execution's a little iffy for me. I just wish we'd lean into a few things a little bit more than we have. With how many pages she has, it is crazy how surface level a lot of the stuff is in this book. My favorite character so far is Alice. I will say I do like Alice a lot, and I quite enjoy the combo we get in this book of Alice and Cell. Those two together, I did really enjoy those scenes. I like their dynamic, but that is blood marked. With that, we're gonna end this video. So I finished the next book in 3 series. I'm very close to finishing the Theodosia Throckmorton series. I will probably finish that one soon. And then I have one more book, and I'm caught up in the Legendborn cycle. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Temeraire, I have a lot to go still because they're all out, but hopefully in the next episode of continuing series I'll be able to actually finish some series up. We'll see, TBD on that one, but let me know if you've read any of these series, what your thoughts are on them. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.